It is Monday, April 27th in the United States and Canada. I'm cooked! And this is a show called What Chaos from the Sports Interaction Studios in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn. And holding it down in that city of champs of his is Sean. There he is, DePaz. Better late than never, right?
Hey,
Actually, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if any of this is going to be better than anything.
I don't think so. I don't
You
wanna
cooked?
Be here.
How you doing? You cooked?
I'm distracted by your earpiece. It's fucking dangling, brother. Sean, you want to talk about the Red Sox?
I mean, we're back, if that's what you want to talk about.
Well, I mean,
Didn't they score
Fired
17
Cora.
the day they fired everybody?
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
back. They're back.
No, the Red Sox are a
the-
disgrace.
Well, I know they were a disgrace, and now they're back.
No, they're still a fucking disgrace.
Oh, hold on.
No, they're
I'm
definitely
gonna
a
take.
disgrace.
We're gonna take turns talking, and we're gonna fix the lights. Okay, Pete, talk to Sean for a second.
Sorry, everybody. We packed up the entire studio and brought it to Buffalo, basically. So we were late today because we were resetting up the studio, and we still haven't perfected it. So apologies. But yeah, the Red Sox are a disgrace, and there's no accountability in the front office, no kind of accountability in management, and I hate them so much.
Okay, so that is your Boston Red Sox minute. I'm gonna continue with a Boston Celtics minute. I don't even know the score of that series. Turn it more in and a little closer, like in towards like me. Yeah, there you go. Sean, how are you?
Wow, that Celtics minute sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the lights sucked.
Good. The Sabres firmly applied belt to ass.
Pete, what's on the show today? What's on the show today?
We got. I need a second.
Okay.
Yes, I do have a sticker. Chad is noticing that my laptop is no longer naked. It is one sticker, and it is the Dishin Meth Bear sticker. I applied this before the Sabres applied something else to the Bruins yesterday. I'm very excited to talk about the Bruins and what happened to them yesterday because it's fucking it's
got something to say.
It's eventful and it was impactful. It was a meaningful day yesterday. And before I say anything else about the Bruins, you have to know, if you listen to this show, that it would have taken a lot for me to be disappointed in the Bruins, because I have not FBI'd in the Bruins at any point during this season. I have described their playoff run as house money, and it's very hard to be disappointed when you lose house money. But holy fuck, that was the most embarrassing game I have ever seen. And I don't think that that's hyperbole. I really don't. I don't think that what happened yesterday was... Sean, shut the fuck up. You will have your time.
How am I supposed to not laugh at that?
It was humiliating. It was embarrassing. It was the worst hockey game I have ever attended. I don't think that they did a single thing right.
Pete, what's on the show today?
I don't know. Sean, are you ready?
You threw it up.
Yes.
Oh, today on the show, we cooked ? That goal tastefully, no clowning, famously, and updated goat watch.
Okay, Bruins destroyed the Sabres 6-1 yesterday. Pete was in the building. Pete, what was your experience?
It was fucking horrible. It was horrible. It was utterly embarrassing. That team is a disgrace. Well, I won't say the team is. The performance was a disgrace. They did nothing right. They showed no fucking fight. Like, the one thing that I'll say about the Bruins, and have said about the Bruins all year long, yes, there's a massive talent gap from where they need to be. The reason that I haven't FBI'd in them is because their talent is significantly lower than their opponent, the Buffalo Sabres. They're a more talented team on paper. The only path for the Bruins to find success in the postseason is by grinding out wins and putting in maximum effort. And the reason that I've had so much fun watching this team this year, despite the lack of talent, is that they bring solid effort pretty much every given night. They had no fucking fight yesterday. They played horrifically. All the buttons that Marco Sturm tried to push failed miserably. The only player that showed up yesterday was Jeremy Swayman, and I tweeted in the first period, Jeremy Swayman deserved to take hammers to the rest of his teammates during first intermission. That's how poorly they played in that first period. It was a fucking miserable experience. We had a discussion last week, I believe, about leaving games early. I said, I have never left a game early. I've never left a Bruins game early. I left that game halfway through the third period yesterday. And I'll tell you what, after the first period, I said to Alan, I really want to go home. I legitimately debated going home after the first period yesterday because that's how poorly they played. That's how little hope I had left remaining in the tank for that team and that performance. It was tough. And honestly, being in the building was so much worse because there were so many people there who were trying to have a good time still, despite everything that was going on. I know that not everybody in the building for a playoff game is an 82 gamer, is a diehard Bruins fan. I get that people want to have a good time, but when you're getting your fucking doors blown off and there's not a shred of life in your team, the last thing anybody who actually believes and loves that team wants to be around is people having a good time. And it was excruciating. It truly was. And Buffalo fans, shout out to them. They traveled well. They were loud in that building. And it was the worst game experience I've ever had.
Bruins dominated the second period. Sean, what'd you take from that one?
The Sabres fucking rock is what I took away from it. That's how that, obviously not to that extent, but that's how the series is supposed to look. The Sabres have been kicking ass for the last 3 months of the regular season, and now they've looked like complete assholes for the majority of the first, at least the majority of the first 2 games. They looked like complete assholes. And it was nice to see them pull out. I almost called it vintage. Certainly not vintage in a wine sense, and vintage in a 2026 vintage Sabres performance. Yeah, it was awesome. I'm very sad that Alex Lang got robbed of his shutout. But yeah, that's what the Sabres. That's how the series is supposed to look. They got contributions from a bunch of different people. Owen Power is playing Bo Byram and Owen Power are playing well. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, it just finally looks like the Sabres are a 1 seed to the Bruins 8 seed.
Yeah, Sabres are better than the Bruins. And I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he was like, you know what the Bruins' problem is? And I said, hold it right there, pal. We're not doing that with this team.
Also, Sean, show some respect. Far be it for me to defend the Bruins in this moment, but they are not an 8 seed.
They're not?
Fair enough. 7 seed. They look like a
could have fooled
2
me.
seed to the Boston 7 seed.
Could have fooled me, but yes, you should be happy they're there, and it's difficult once the playoffs begin to just be happy that you're there. And when you watch them turn in that performance yesterday, which was so horrid, Nesson had given them 3 shots on goal about 15 minutes into the period, and then corrected it and took one away.
Yeah, they had 2.
They had 2 for.
At what point the Sabres had more goals than the Bruins had shots,
and that
yeah, boy.
The Bruins get scored on early. Remember what they did? How they respond to that?
No.
They took a too many men penalty.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if I've ever seen such a drubbing in a single period in a postseason. I am sure that a team has come out and put up 5 or something, but there was no pushback, there was no fight, there was no whatever. I'm more interested in the Sean Pete dynamic than the actual Bruins Sabres dynamic after that, because we'll talk later about who we think is more cooked, but I'm watching this and I'm like, this is just a fucking party for the Sabres, who are supposed to win this round, and it's looking like after they take 2 in Boston, they're doing it in the most fun way possible. And I'm sorry for you, Pete, because you're in a similar situation that I am in with the Ducks, where you like the Sabres.
Yeah.
And you've been telling people, watch out for the Sabres, and you got to play them in the first round, and they're kind of smoking your team. The second this is over, I think no judgment should be placed on you for reacting however you want. If the second the Bruins are out of it, if that is to come, you are to say, all right, let's have some fun with the Sabres. I think you are completely allowed, because you didn't expect the Bruins to make the playoffs. They're your team. You got to have a little fun with this ride. Victor Arvidsson had a fun season. There's plenty that's gone right in your world this year. But Sabres are good. Bruins are kind of good. Sabres just played awesome. I was joking about the second period, but after the second period, the Bruins could have and should have made it a game. They just got lined a little bit. Like I would say after the first period, it should have been 5-0. I thought Swayman was really good in the first period. I'm not kidding. It should have been 5-0 Sabres. After the second period, probably should have been 5-3. And then you go into the third and you see what happens. But, oh boy, then that third game, they had not scored any goals, and it was 6-0 in a hurry. Jeremy Swayman screaming at teammates. And, a little unfortunate for our guy, Alex Lyon, who shout out whoever commented online.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate for Alex Lyon.
It's a little unfortunate.
It's a little unfortunate for Alex Lyon.
Guy almost had a playoff shutout.
I do have 2 positives for the Bruins. You want them?
I guess.
All right, cool. Let's do them.
I guarantee you don't.
Sabres power play was bad. 0 for 3 and allowed a goal. What's the problem there?
I thought they got one. Did they not get
it was like a
right
second after.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was immediately after.
You're
that's
thinking
a spiritual power play goal.
You're thinking of a million even strength goals. That's what the Sabres had. And then the Bruins scored right at the end of the game. So if one of these games goes into overtime, the Bruins are battle tested.
Hottest team in hockey, the Boston Bruins.
Many are saying they've scored one of the most recent goals in the NHL playoffs.
I guess my own spin is that the Bruins have had the trouble closing out games in this series. Sabres had a tough time closing out that game, allegedly. I don't know because I wasn't fucking there to see it, but the Bruins scored a late goal. So
when did you leave?
I left like with 10, 12 minutes left in the third period.
That counts as leaving early.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I did miss a lot. Like, I missed Zadorov being a fucking loser. Listen, I like what Nikita Zadorov brings to a team. I have a problem with some of the spots that he picks. There was, I believe it was Columbus earlier this season, maybe it was last season, where he went after like the smallest guy on the ice when they were getting absolutely drubbed late in the game, and he just wanted to stir up some shit. And I said it then, and I'll say it this time with the caveat that I know Rasmus Dahlin pisses people off and finds a way to get under everybody's skin. And he's a little bit of a sneaky rat, and we love him for it. But when you go after Ras at the end of that game, pull some extremely cheap shit when your effort's been extremely embarrassing the entire game, I don't have any time for that. Like, thanks for showing some fucking fight behind the play after the whistle when you're down by 6 goals. That's some loser fucking behavior.
And it was like not the pearl clutch, but like incredibly fucking violent. Like, it wasn't like he just took a whack to the back of the legs or like a cross check to the back or something. He fucking tried to decapitate him, which is the second time someone's tried to decapitate Rasmus Dahlin this season. But still, that was a very bad look.
What's the best case scenario there? Is that he hurts Rasmus Dahlin and takes him out of the series, and then what happens? They're not going after you, Zadorov. They're going after Pastrnak because that's the Bruins' best player. And then what? Like, Pastrnak has been bad in this series. I know that I don't know. He's probably not leading the series in points anymore because a billion Sabres got fucking points yesterday.
I think Bo Byram might be after that.
But, I think that Pastrnak says that he's healthy. He does not look healthy. He's not driving play. He's not creating. Puck's jumping all over his stick. Yesterday, there was a play behind the goal line where he had an opportunity to play the puck or play the body, and he decided to do fucking nothing. He decided to do neither. It was tough.
The thing that
Alex
stands
Tuck
out
leads the series in points, by the way, with 6 to Pasternak's 5.
Well, speaking of Alex Tuck, the thing that stands out to me in terms of the shittiness and the bad behavior by teammates, and I sent this in our group chat yesterday. Obviously, it's tough to act like you've been there when you haven't been there before, but I saw a Sabres fan account retweeted by a lot of Sabres fans post a clip of as Tanner Jeannot and Alex Tuck were getting off the ice. Jeannot gave Tuck a light one-handed little, like on the back of the calf, just like a little, kind of like lightly whipped his stick at him to give him a little something. Tuck, I think, acted very surprised that it happened, but whatever, got off the ice, everyone was fine. And I saw Sabres fans sharing this with like, oh, fuck, did you see this shit? And that's where I'm like, Sabres fans, I love you. And I obviously am pulling for the Sabres in this series. But that is some huge, so you've never watched the playoffs before?
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
People do much worse than that. Like, typically, they're trying to, like, get each other's wrists and shit. Like they are, of course, being dirty and trying to injure each other.
Brad Marchand voice. Everybody's trying to hurt each other out there. Everybody's trying to injure each other. And, like, that's the gamesmanship of the playoffs. When that stuff happens, call it dirty, call it whatever you want, but, like, you can't be surprised by it, and you can't really be that incensed by it. It's the Zadorov stuff that pissed me off more. Yeah, that's not the best behavior. I also, like, Sean, I gotta say it, I was fucking mad yesterday. I was mad at you. You were on some borderline bad behavior shit.
What
I mean,
part?
I was obviously emotional. DJ, you're an impartial party. Where did you land on it?
On Sean's behavior?
Yeah.
The
text
only
Shane,
thing,
I was like,
literally, I texted one time. Oh, I texted twice.
Yeah,
I
let me see. I don't remember.
I texted, dude, fuck the Bruins.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
it was
the all caps LMAO after.
Yeah.
I don't know what
After I
point
said
that was.
that, like-
That was the Mallet sign goal.
Oh,
I laughed at you for saying you were leaving
Nope.
early.
Pete
Yeah.
said I left a game early. I said wow, and Sean said LMAO.
I had already left the game. I was already in the ditch. You didn't need to pull over
that is
and
not
piss
bad.
on me.
And I'm not
I'd say that's
laughing
on the
at
line.
I'm not necessarily laughing at the fact that you're miserable. I'm more laughing at the fact that the Buffalo Sabres forced you to do something a week ago you said you wouldn't do. Like, it's not, I wouldn't have done that just based on the Sabres. Like, if you had been the whole game, I didn't really care. I mean, I obviously cared, but it wasn't a reaction to, like, how the game was going. It was more a reaction to you leaving, which I think is objectively hilarious.
Chad is rooting loudly for Pete and Sean to divorce each other. Lot of divorce.
I think I'm
point.
gonna win custody. If Chat's the child, I think I'm gonna win custody because they seem like they're on my side.
You kind of are daddy, aren't you? Yeah.
I didn't really like that, but sure.
Well, then fucking divorce me too while you're being a fucking prick to everybody, Sean. I would say that in that moment, I understand if, I mean, Pete's feelings were hurt there. He called it out. He could have used an arm around his shoulder.
I didn't need an arm around my shoulder. I didn't need to be pissed on.
Yeah, he pissed. Yeah, that's the thing. He needed an arm around his shoulder. You pissed in his face.
That's right.
You asked me to call it impartial. Like, yeah, you pissed in his face.
I'm supposed to sit here and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Pete. I'm sorry you're having a bad time,
I
friend."
didn't want an apology. I didn't want an arm around the shoulder. I just didn't want to be pissed on.
You know what I would do there? And this isn't, I would not encourage people to behave like me. But if that's me, I'm saying, love you, buddy.
That's fucking worse.
You don't.
I don't want to be consoled. I don't want to be babied.
Well, now I'm thinking of divorcing you because, like, give us the playbook. Could
Just
you give
fucking
us
ignore me. Just let me let me walk out in peace.
Give
Hold
us
on,
a
hold
Utah
on.
Mammoth cheer. Give us a Utah Mammoth cheer guide. Which, by the way, the fan that made that, that was good behavior. Do you see that?
No.
The chant guide. They were like, everybody who's going to the game.
A fan made
Here's
it?
some stuff.
That was the team, I thought.
I thought it was the team. I could be wrong. I then looked for it and I couldn't find it, and I only saw it from a fan. Whoever made it, I initially thought it was from the team, and I was going to say good behavior from the team because they're new. But give us a guide on what to say and do next time the Bruins are down 6-0 and you're thinking of leaving a game, as this will happen so many more times this season.
Okay, I guess I can do that. I got to mention I feel really bad for Jack Edwards, who was the banner captain yesterday and did his best to get the crowd going. And then also I felt bad for, you know how they do like the mid-game, like, hey, here's the community hero. It's like a 5th grade teacher who has spent her entire life like teaching disabled kids. How about a big round of applause in her special moment? Everybody had no fucking time for that lady last night. I felt terrible. It was so bad.
Who was it? Was it American Authors or somebody at the Winter Classic at Gillette where the Bruins are getting smoked by the Canadiens after the first period? And they came out and he was like, "How you feeling, Boston?" And everyone was like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah.
They did that to the teacher.
Yeah. So, Do we want to get off the Bruins? I would love to just be done with it. I know that
I think we got
to. Want to do some McAvoy comments?
Budgeted 35 more on the gameplay.
I'm gonna tap out.
Yes. Jeremy Swayman wants to kick everyone's ass. He got off the ice, and as he was getting pulled in the third period, he was shouting at the bench. And there's no take to have here other than that's fucking awesome, man. Sean, you gotta love it because the Bruins are falling apart. But look at him. Look at him. You stink.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do it to me again.
I got a big laugh at Rec Room after Game 3 when I suggested that the Bruins have to start Jonas Korpisalo. Little did I know that they would have to play Jonas Korpisalo. Yeah, I mean, that's the most, like, the playoffs, that's over for the Bruins. Like,
I can't believe they didn't do it earlier. Like, I can't believe that Swayman played the second period, to be honest, because that is when your team plays that poorly in the first period, the only button that you can really push as a coach is to yank the goalie to send a message to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a really bad look, obviously. Like, between Zadorov losing his mind at the end of the game, that McAvoy being embarrassed, like, it's seems it doesn't look good. Doesn't look like things are great. Like, the vibes are too great for the Boston Bruins right now, and I personally am enjoying that.
Bruins analyst Sean DePaz, give us McAvoy from Scott McLaughlin.
Yeah, we're all very frustrated with what happened tonight. I don't know. I don't have an answer for it right now. Besides the fact that we have to learn from this as fast as possible because this thing isn't over.
Charlie, in your experience, is that frustration something that you use or something you have to put behind you and get back to your baseline?
I mean, I think you got to use both sides of it. I mean, you can't sit with it because if you carry it in the next game, it's not going to do you any good. But I think we can use it to try and light a fire at the same time. So, yeah, if man to man in here, if we're not fucking embarrassed with what just happened, then I don't know, what to say. Like I said, it's not over after 3 games, so we have everything to play for here, and we know we're such a better team than what we did, today.
All right, man to man. Yes, Sean?
You said it's not over after 3 games. How about 4? Because that was the 4th game. And
maybe you meant
shit looks
3
real
losses.
over for you, Boston Bruins. Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's after 3 losses. We are going to save the Bruins' fate for the end of our Western Conference Pacific chat. And do we have anything else? Sean, do you have anything else you want to get in there as you are now on the precipice of advancing to the second round? How is life in Seanland? We were with you all week, had a blast, and how are you in our absence?
I'm very good. I'm really rooting for the Montreal Canadiens right now, because I'm.
Wait, why?
You don't do we want blank chance. This is, again, you knew to be in the playoffs.
No. That's more like I just would rather go to Montreal than Tampa, and also the Montreal Canadiens kind of asshole-ish. So I just think that series would be a little more fun than a Tampa series. But I am putting myself in a position for this to get real bad for me because mentally I've moved on. The Sabres have won the series, and we are on to round 2. And if the Sabres want to be assholes and shit the bed and make me look like a goddamn fool, then so be it. But I think the Sabres have arrived. They've gotten the jitters out, and now this is going the way it's supposed to.
Okay, we want to move on to the Ducks. Do we?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I will say the Sabres, I have arrived to the series. The Bruins obviously are not that bad. So, and fourth win is the hardest to get.
Yeah, true.
I'll say that. Fourth win's the hardest to get, especially for a team that's never fucking been there. So,
you're not wrong.
I'll save my cooked chat.
Yes,
till the end.
we have cooked chat coming up in just a little bit. The Ducks come back for the 3rd game in a row, 3rd straight come from behind win. Beat the Oilers in overtime last night. They trailed 2-0 and 3-2, won in overtime on a Ryan Poehling goal that we will spend as little time on as we can. We're going to give it its proper discussion and dissection, but I feel like a lot of shows are opening with that goal today. Mm-hmm. There's too much shit going on. Like, Anze Kopitar just retired. the
playoffs fucking rock.
I think Anze Kopitar was retired.
Yeah, I mean,
He was
retired in Game 3.
To put it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I'm not going to say anything disparaging or mock Anze Kopitar whatsoever because he is just a near perfect player and has really done too much for the city of Los Angeles and for the game of hockey for me to ever say anything bad about him. But he was retired.
Oh yeah, it's not like after the game he was like, you know what, I think I'll call it there.
Yes.
The Colorado Avalanche, where I don't think the Colorado Avalanche wanted to retire him. I just don't even know how much they cared. They were like, that this was fuck it. Let's do the
Spend 30
series.
seconds on
yeah,
that.
like we were only going to spend like 3 seconds on this anyway. Pete, you avoid Ronald McDonald.
I did, yeah, and like to be honest, it wasn't even a concern whatsoever.
I know. Yes,
what?
It was after the first 2 games. There was like they might sneak out one. If they sneak out one, they only need one more. Like I mean, it was not necessarily like.
Sean,
I thought they were going to win a game.
I do not recall any of that.
John's explanation as to why I should have been nervous was because if they magically got one, they were only one away.
Well, they could have easily won. I mean, not easily, but they could have won both of those first 2 games. Like they were in both of those games.
The biggest reason why I was not concerned whatsoever is because the first few games looked like exactly the game that the Kings wanted to play. We talked about this at length.
Yeah.
They controlled the series. They dragged the Avalanche into their game, and they lost their game because they just didn't have enough talent.
I guess more of the first game, it was like, the Oilers are like the Kings might they might be able to win one of these, and then it's like if they win one, who fucking knows? They can win a second game. The Avs have been assholes at points this, so it wasn't.
So you're
like,
saying
obviously
theoretically
as the
this could
series
have
went on.
happened. I thought that you were saying Pete was concerned that I was like,
no.
We were having some fun with it, but I don't remember 1 second of that from Pete. Pete was
No. Yeah, I
Pete's
don't think Pete was ever all
Amazon
that
or
worried.
Pete's Sephora cart was fucking empty from beginning to end of that series. He had no plans of putting anything to face. Okay.
Yeah.
So Pete, congratulations to you. You avoid the Ronald McDonald, and
I don't know if anybody's noticed. There is no mustache.
Oh!
Yeah, I shaved the mustache last night to a last-ditch effort to. I don't really believe in superstitions all that much, but
you never know.
There was fucking bad
Pascal's
energy in
wager.
that mustache after yesterday, so I shaved the mustache.
I'm gonna shave my mustache just to spite you. Just to,
that would be
Cancel
so
it out.
That would be so. Look, now we
if
both
the
don't
Sabres
have
lose Game
mustaches.
5, if the Sabres lose Game 5, I might have to.
If the Oilers lose Game 5, I shave my mustache and I keep the rest.
Yes. Yeah.
Gross.
Yes.
That would be terrible.
I would look.
Have you
booty
tried it
cheeks.
before?
Have I ever
Do
done
you know that?
Please, God, no.
No.
It works for
I
Nikita Kucherov.
I at least like 20% still try to be hot. In my younger days, I put a little more effort into it. Now I'm old and I'm very sick. But I'm not just like completely flushing it. That would look really bad. Not as bad though as the Avalanche sweeping the Kings. I will grant you that. But I'll tell you, like, got a DM from Renee who was like,
Yeah.
just in case you're wondering, I'm doing fine. And I was like, I was lightly wondering, but I knew you were doing fine. You didn't want to watch this team anymore, brother.
Sean hit him with an LMAO in response. No, I mean, like, congratulations to Kings fans. Congratulations to Anze Kopitar. You are free. Fly free. Enjoy your summer. God bless you. The strength with which Kings fans have operated this season has had to be pretty astronomical. That was a tough team to watch. Nobody wanted to see that team in the playoffs. And
We barely did.
I know that's true.
The good news is we barely saw. It was the minimum amount of games that could be played. But I'll tell you what, I liked the last few minutes. I liked that. I think the Kings fans maybe jumped the gun a little bit on like 1:10 left during play. They're chanting Kopi. And I'm like, there's going to be another whistle. They're trying to do like the like big Kopi that leads to the end. But I'm like, I should have chanted that the whole game. At that game, there's not a time that's too early to chant Kopi. And I loved it. And I loved watching him. And I thought that he handled it well. The handshake line I thought was beautiful. Walking down the tunnel, he kind of
both his kids at the presser afterwards. That was great.
But when he was walking down the tunnel after he got off the ice, there was like I'm sure that part of it was like, hey, that was a tough season or whatever, but like, so this is done here. It was beautiful. I thought it was very, very touching. I thought that Kings fans did a great job with it. Obviously, what else could they have done?
Yeah.
Like, you weren't supposed to be in the playoffs. You got to watch Kopitar a few more times. It was beautiful. So hats off to Kopitar. An amazing career, obviously. 2-time Cup winner, 2-time Selke winner, a Lady Bing, but I don't really give too much of a shit about that.
Yeah.
But as Pete said,
Cowards Award.
perfect player. Perfect player. Victim of playing at the same time as Patrice Bergeron. Just a really, really elite two-way player. Big, sturdy boy, too. There was nothing to not love about Anze Kopitar. Also wore the smoke visor. A cool look. A handsome guy. Hell of a player. And now, I heard Kyle bring this up on 32 Thoughts this morning. Fuck, I'm sorry we're doing Kings chat right now, but my wheels are turning.
Last opportunity.
No.
Ain't nobody talking about the fucking Kings after this.
Bang. Now,
We should have Kings Minute every show for the rest of the playoffs.
we love this guy. Didn't have the best year. Q. Like,
Oh, yeah, I know.
now, like, that's your team.
We've had in private, have not wanted to have it on the podcast.
We have privately discussed not thinking one of our friends is bad. A friend of the show.
I wouldn't say bad. I just
Just not working.
when's it going to happen? Like, when is Quentin Byfield going to take control of this LA Kings team? And I will say, I think that the Kings system does not particularly allow for any sexy players to really pop. I hope that DJ Smith is not the coach of that team moving forward. I hope that somebody coaches that team, allows them to be a little bit more exciting, allows Quentin Byfield to fully flex what he's capable of offensively. But yeah, we're waiting for it, man. I'd love to see Byfield and Kempe just really seize control of that team and make them more exciting.
All right. Chat seems to say talk about the Habs. So let's talk about the Habs. I'm just going to keep pushing this down so we never have to talk about the Oilers. Lightning ties the series with a Game 4 win. They come back in the third period. Nikita Kucherov gets cross-checked by Jake Evans midway through the period, through the third. I don't think we have the clip, Sean, but I don't think we need it. Here's what we need. Kucherov, I would say, yes, went into the boards with a little more oomph than he needed to. That said, if you're like throwing yourself into the boards, you're still risking injury.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's committing to the dive. I'll give him that.
The dive, you say? Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna say it. I mean, bit of a dumb move by, I believe it was Jake Evans. To have anything that resembled a cross check in that moment, because you open yourself up to get called. But Kucherov literally threw his lifeless body into the boards as hard as he could, and I'll give him credit for selling it. But he went down so easy, dove, and then pretended like he was hurt.
Was not called for the embellishment, so chat correctly points out that he just bedazzled it a little bit.
Yes.
Threw a little razzle-dazzle.
That's true.
on it.
Yes, we are doing bedazzle chat.
We do not have the play, but we do, Sean, I believe, have an updated Goat Watch.
Ah, yes.
Updated Goat Watch. Sidney Crosby dives. Nathan McKinnon dives. Nikita Kucherov dives. And Connor McDavid is bad and doesn't try.
Well, let me ask this: does Kucherov get like more points in this standings because he dove and didn't get
Because
caught?
he bedazzled? Yeah. I think so.
So is Nikita Kucherov the GOAT? Is that what we're settling on?
That's kind of what I'm suggesting. Yeah, is like, does he exist on a higher plane, or is he not considered GOAT level like Crosby and McKinnon, where like they're not watching him for that shit?
Well, he's definitely not on their level. I just don't know if it's a higher plane or a lower one. It's a good one. I think that we can all agree that Connor McDavid, who's bad and doesn't try, would be the worst of the four GOATs right now.
Yeah.
If we're doing like GOAT rankings, I don't want to do GOAT rankings. We're more of a GOAT watch podcast. But I think that if we were to bust them into tiers, for example, we'll put McDavid,
I love
who's
busting into tiers.
Yes. Just busting tiers. I would say that McDavid is in the lowest class, and then you're figuring out whether diving and getting caught, aka embellishing, or diving and not getting caught, aka bedazzling, is better. I would say that right now, Kucherov coming off a win in a difficult series, I would say that he is currently the best GOAT.
Okay. All right. I'll say I was
the best GOAT.
Incredible ballsy win and huge win for the Tampa Bay Lightning yesterday. That was an electric game. Great comeback from those guys. I will say after the Kucherov dive and the ensuing incredible penalty kill by the Canadiens, I was rooting big time for Montreal to kind of shove it down their throats in that moment. But again, credit to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I know that we get accused of being anti-Bolts on this program, perhaps by a subreddit. Good win. I didn't want to see it happen after Kucherov went full dummy into the boards.
Feel like it's going 7 though. It's going 7.
Need it to go 7.
Dallas, Minnesota going 7.
That's the reason why I was like, damn, I wanted the Habs to win, but when the Bolts won, I was like, cool, we're probably going to get more games in the series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just like beat the fuck out of each other for me, please.
My despair was 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
Because
especially because the next game started. Like the 2 games last night to cap off the night. I'm sorry that it ended in your despair, DJ. But
I believe actually the Oilers were already up when that game ended. I could have been.
No,
I
they
could
were
be
playing,
wrong.
yeah.
It was, but like already winning.
Yes, correct.
Because I think that game ended like 30 seconds into the Oilers game, and the Oilers scored right away.
Yeah, but I had no time for the despair because I immediately switched over to the other game.
Yes, Sean.
You like. Are you not at all? Because like I get like why you wanted the Habs to win that game but like is there no like the Habs need to not be stupid fucking assholes chat / concern?
No,
I didn't really think that they were huge assholes. Like you can say that the Jake Evans penalty was an asshole move, but they responded by having an incredible kill.
I need a little risky business with the Habs, so I'm not going to tell them to change up their behavior.
Also, Slavkovsky got fucking drilled. Did you see that? The Slavkovsky hit?
I don't.
He got absolutely pulverized at center ice. It was like shades of Shane Hollander looking back with the Aruga eyes.
I think Young Gritty posted
Josh
that.
Stone,
He was
too.
like life imitating art and
really?
showed them together.
I hope Slavkovsky's okay. He came back. I thought for sure he was going to score a goal because the Canadians are dramatic divas.
Little Paul Correa,
Holy
cup
shit.
final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just watched it, Sean? He got fucking killed.
Fucking tossed. He's a big guy, isn't he?
Why are you so happy about that,
Big,
Sean?
yeah. Because Sean
That's
wants
just- I love-
Sean at this point has moved on. He wants all of the
Yes.
players in the series to die on the ice.
And you're like,
Well,
very
we-
problematic behavior.
You're going
Well, I
like,
don't
we
know.
want Montreal. I hope they all get hurt so it's not hard when
Sean's
my team
rooting for
plays
injury.
them.
That's horrible
To be
stuff.
quite honest,
Bad
like,
guy.
that particular reaction was just I like seeing dudes get hit. Like I like a big hit, especially.
You
on
were
a big
doing the
guy.
jacked up segment on
Yes,
ESPN.
exactly. You've been jacked up.
Speaking of ESPN,
Slavkovsky.
Spencer Carberry, awesome addition to ESPN's
Yes, I was gonna
broadcast.
say
So good.
that guy.
Off the rip.
Quit your job,
Dude,
get fired. I need you to get fired ASAP.
Dude, he is. It makes me mad how good he is
Yeah.
at that job because as somebody who has been trying to do a job like that for my entire life, what do you mean?
No, you don't want to do that.
I mean, I do. I would love to be on the ESPN to help make it better. I would love to be on a. I'd love to be next to Spencer Carberry, guys doing the job that well. It just makes me mad that he can fucking finish his day job, get kicked out of the league because his team's not that good, and then step onto a TV set and be the best person on that set.
Yeah, I've seen that particular set too much that I think any of us doing that would make us less cool.
In the current format, but
Yeah,
like
but that's what I'm saying. Like
they should give us a platform.
Yeah, platform. What chaos?
Did see we actually did finally get a don't give Matthew Tkachuk a platform.
really
In the comments. Yeah, and I was like,
Hell yeah.
he plays in the NHL. He has platform. We don't need to get into that, but I did laugh that one finally came. We thought it was coming, and it did.
How can people watch this show and not know that when you say platform, I die? Like the show's, if you keep saying platform, I'm going to die, and then there won't be a show because Sean and P won't fucking work together. I'm barely holding
that's
those.
not a conversation we've ever had. I mean, Pete and
If one of us dies?
I are currently divorced. Yeah, I mean, not that I really want to have that conversation, but like,
Yeah, we can't do death chat on this.
yeah,
Only
if we're
rooting for other
talking
players to
about
die.
players die. Yeah,
I was going to do, I did want to show the Jake Evans cross-check on Kucherov and was going to make a new graphic that said, was he killed? Question mark. But I
Might
thought
be
better
bad.
of it.
Too much kill chat.
Yeah, too much.
I don't want anybody to die. Anti-death. Over
Damn.
here personally.
Look
Bold
at you
take.
go. Is that it for series? No, the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh,
Yes, the Anaheim Ducks came from behind in the nightcap last night. It was late. Went into overtime, actually, and it was a lengthy overtime, so I understand if people fell asleep and missed it, but we'll catch up quickly on that one. Anaheim Ducks came back. They were down 2-0 and 3-2 in this game, and for the third straight game, secured a come-from-behind victory over the Edmonton Oilers. They have won both games in Anaheim. They're now up 3-1 in the series. This is Edmonton's first Game 4 loss in 60 years. True story.
really?
No.
Oh.
But you would have believed
Guy's
it.
just lying.
Jesus fuck.
But you would have believed it. You would have believed it.
I mean,
Every time the Oilers are in some stupid position, we're like, well, Game 4. But usually I think we associate it with like Stu's numbers or something.
yeah. Well,
But
I mean, I
they
was going to
win-
say the reason why they finally lost one is because they don't have Stuart Skinner, who magically turns into a different version of himself once Game 4 hits.
And they did the two teams, this is very interesting. Two teams did the unplug the Stu move in this in the first round. The Penguins famously did it with Stuart Skinner. And you and I had an argument about this last week about is it really unplugging the Stu and plugging him back in if you're putting in a goalie that could be comparable or better, which is how I feel about Artur Shilov's.
Correct. Yeah.
And you said, what was your thought was we don't know. There's no proof of it yet. So
Yeah.
like, let's see what happens. Talked to Shayna Goldman about this, and she was like, I think you're overrating Artur Shilov's a little bit. Shilov's might not be better by much, if at all, than Stu.
Maybe I'm missing something. I've been at a loss for like why people don't believe in Artur Shilov.
It's because you and I fell in love with him at the exact same time, which was the second round of the 2024 playoffs, where he came in for Demko, and we were like, well, shit.
yeah.
And I think that's kind of all he's ever done.
Then he won a Calder Cup and was a fucking
He was good in
incredible
the AHL
stud
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people think he's not very good. I'm not putting words in Shayna's mouth, but she was saying like, maybe she was saying that Stu's better than we're giving him credit for, but like Shilov's and Stu, if anything, maybe she was arguing is negligible, where you go from Stu to Ingram, Stu to Pickard, and I know people want to be assholes about this, but like Calvin Pickard's fucking worse than Stuart Skinner. So I always thought that part of the unplugging the Stu and plugging him back in was you replace him with a worse goalie for like a game and a half-ish.
Yeah.
That guy gets hurt or something, or you just say Stu's ready, you put him back in, and you go from there. So far, so good with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Oilers tried to do it. Here's their difficulty. They don't have Stuart Skinner on their team. So they unplugged Connor Ingram and put in maybe the worst goalie in the world in Tristan Jarry. And I
Who,
will
by the
say
way,
this.
who, by the way, in case you forgot, was the return for Stuart Skinner. Just wanted to bring that up.
I'm
case
thinking
you
about
forgot.
Just in case you forgot.
This is gonna fuck you up. I'm thinking about that trade again.
Oh,
I've
shit.
been
No
thinking
way.
about that trade again, and I was like,
I mean, it, again, implies that you ever stopped thinking about it.
I don't know if I have at least spoken about that trade every day. Like I hate to do this, but
I do respect your restraint that you've shown on the show to not bring it up every fucking day at every opportunity. You've done a pretty good job of just letting it go in front of a microphone.
after 9/11,
Oh my God.
let me finish. Let me finish.
I'll get that time code.
Like 2 or 3 weeks later, I was like, I mean, obviously I'm watching the news and stuff, and I'm like, is there ever going to be a day the rest of my life
Yeah.
that I don't think about like this like seismic thing? And I honestly do not think a day has passed since September 11, 2001, where I have not thought about 9/11 because that is a world-changing event. Hockey-wise, for me, every day since that trade, I've thought about that trade. And I'm not comparing the two other than to say they are two things that are always somewhat... Sean, you're making a face like we're going to get in trouble.
No, I guess my initial question is, you've thought about 9/11 every day for the last 25 years?
I was going to let that one go,
I probably think like in like 1 second of like
That's
this
your Roman
hasn't been the
Empire?
same. Like I bet subconsciously or whatever, there's some reminder of like such a seismic event every day. And maybe I haven't like sat down and like gotten into like how could people do that and with such a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe I haven't done that every day, but I bet there's been some sort of reference I've seen, or unfortunately now the last like 5 years, 9/11 jokes are like fair game for some reason.
Well,
at the very,
I mean, this makes me want to make some. I'll tell you that. Starting your sentence with or making a Tristan Jarry trade is my personal. Like, I want to get you a T-shirt that just has like the Puckpedia transaction on the front and just like hashtag never forget on the back, because that's comparing it to 9/11. I get your point.
You literally did just make the Tristan Jarry trade your 9/11.
no, my 9/11 famously is 9/11 because I've thought that has impacted my life worse than the Tristan Jarry trade has.
One
is just a
9/11
hockey thing,
has hit
guys.
DJ's
Some things
life.
are bigger than the sport.
A second 9/11 has hit DJ's life.
Okay.
Yes. Can I share with you my favorite quote about grief? This is from Jay Shetty, and I really, really like this quote about grief. Grief is like a stone, and you carry it in your pocket, and you will always notice it, and you will feel it, and you'll know it's there. But as time goes on, you get stronger. And so as you get stronger, it's not the stone that goes away. It's just that it gets lighter, and it gets lighter to carry. And it does not mean that it's going away. You didn't move on. You didn't get over it. It doesn't disappear. It does not get smaller. It stays the same. You just get stronger, so the stone gets lighter. Tristan Jarry is your stone.
I agree with that.
He's there every day in your pocket, but some days, one day, you're not really going to notice him because you've got so much stronger.
But like, why can't my stone be like? Why couldn't they have gotten Mark Stone?
Because he doesn't play goalie. I guess neither does Tristan Jarry sometimes.
I was going to say, I would still rather trade all that shit for Mark Stone, who is a serviceable NHL player, than Tristan Jarry.
What are we doing?
All that to say, stop talking about 9/11, guys. All that to say, I thought for 3 periods, Tristan Jarry was good to the point where midway through the 3rd period, I asked myself in my little brain, Ducks getting goalied here? Like, Jarry made some really good saves.
Game.
The 1st period, there was a puck that like trickled past the net where Jarry was so unprepared for it and basically had half the net open, and the puck just happened to bounce wide. And after that, I thought he made some really good saves. Is he one of the worst penalty killing goalies ever? My guess is statistically, yeah. Like, that's just that. Obviously, the Ducks are a real problem when they get on the power play. Penalties killed the Oilers. But I thought that Jarry was good until the last goal, which was
I mean, also
a horrible moment.
A bit of bad luck as well.
Bad luck. But there is like the image of, and I think that if they lose the series, I think that game gets Stan Bowman fired. And I pray that game gets Stan Bowman fired, because you were a team that couldn't quite figure out your goaltending, and you invested and paid and made a trade in which you sent out the better goaltender, and it left you in a spot where when you needed to change your goaltender midway through the 1st round, you could not get a spot start out of the goalie that you invested in so much, who, by the way, is now tied to your books for the rest of Connor McDavid's contract.
I mean, that's the bigger problem there, is that you got the worst goaltender, and you're now saddled with a bad contract.
And we already knew that, but I think that moment for ownership should tell them, like, wow, like that goal in that moment and Jarry being there for it should indicate to ownership this was botched so badly. And I don't want to go through like why it was a bad trade and everything, because we've talked about that quite a bit on this show, but that was horrible. And that was bad. Oilers, by the way, took 2 penalties in the second period, and the Ducks scored on both of them. Second periods have been horrible for the Oilers. Ducks, to their credit, have come back a bajillion times. Even strength goals in this series, 12-11 Oilers. And the Ducks have 6 power play goals to the Oilers 3, plus a shorthanded goal because, say it with me, class, Connor McDavid is bad and doesn't try. Let's get into how it ended.
Real quick, the Tristan Jarry does have the second worst save percentage on the penalty kill in these playoffs, tied with Dan Vladar, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has the worst. Also, Jesper Wallstedt has given up 7 shorthanded goals in these playoffs.
That can't be
true.
Right. That cannot be true. In these
I'm looking at
playoffs?
2025, 26 playoffs on the penalty kill, unless I
giving up 7 power
I bet
play
you I'm
goals?
big time wrong. That might just be total.
I was going to say,
fucked with me a little
Jesper
bit.
Wallstedt has been fucking incredible so far in these playoffs. I think that if he had given up 7 shorthanded goals,
He's given up 4. He's tied with the most most shorthanded goals. Yeah, and his save percentage is 5th worst at 806.
I feel like he's
so
been
he hasn't
awesome.
I think he probably has been, just not when the Stars are on the power play.
What draft pick was Jesper Wallstedt selected with? Didn't they trade for that pick?
Yes, that trade came from the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh,
I don't hate that. I wouldn't hate that pick for the Oilers. That could have been pretty good.
Yeah, Jesper Wallstedt.
Yes.
Apologies for pronunciation.
Excuse me.
Chat.
Okay, Sean, we're going to try to not spend too much time on this game-winning goal for the Ducks. Ryan Poehling scores the game winner 2:29 into overtime. Sean, do we have the clip of the actual goal?
Yes.
All right, here's the goal.
Poehling off the draw. McTavish. Poehling shoots, redirected behind Zari on the goal line. Crowd thinks it was in. No signal. Ducks celebrate. Light did not go on.
I didn't hear a whistle either, so I don't know when they were. Either they blew this down, it was loud in here, or they were thinking of blowing it down. But the Anaheim Ducks celebrated afterwards.
We'll get a look.
But obviously that's what they felt they saw here this year. This is going to be the best look. And
All right, come back.
You can't see it 100% over the line.
I said I wanted to do 60 seconds total on this, but I need to consider that you two might have thoughts on this. So we'll try to keep this short and get out whatever thoughts we have on this goal. The Ducks scored a goal there, and it was called a goal, and I think that justice was done, even if sloppily. The officials weren't behind the net. They couldn't have seen if it was a goal. They guessed essentially that it was a goal. They reviewed it, and then you couldn't see because the skate was covering the puck if it definitely crossed the line. But the Ducks, that was a goal, and I think that a goal got called a goal, and I can live with that way more than I can live with so many other things in this game. Your thoughts, Pete?
Yeah, I think that this is about like logic versus process. Logically, that is a goal. We all see it. We see the overhead. We can't actually see the white between the puck and the goal line, but logic tells you that that is probably a goal. But the process of that is where I have the problem, because the officials on the ice called it a goal just fucking guessing, or called it a goal because they saw Anaheim celebrating and telling them that it was a goal. And when you call it a goal on the ice and there's not conclusive evidence to suggest otherwise, you have to keep the call on the ice. So ultimately, when you don't have a conclusive replay, you have to stick with what you call on the ice. And the only reason they called it on the ice was because, again, they guessed or they took cues from the Anaheim Ducks. And that's where my problem is. That's where the process can be illogical.
I didn't consider that. I was like, hey, Pete, I'm thinking of setting a timer for the goal thing, and we'll just we'll do 60 seconds, and then we'll fuck around the rest of the show. Have a great time, just like we always do, buddy. And you were like, yeah, this is pretty open and shut, blah, blah. You can't, they only called it that because, the Ducks were celebrating. And I was like, oh, well, let's do a few minutes on this then. Because that is bad behavior. But again, my heart isn't broken by that. And I think that the world would have burned if that was not called a goal.
Yeah, I think they got the answer right. They just didn't show their work.
Right. Sean?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's all that I ultimately care about is that the call was correct, and I think obviously that's a goal. Anybody that disagrees, I think, is coping a little bit. I don't really know. Like, I don't really, as far as the refs go, like, I guess you have to make a call, and I don't know. Like, if you don't know, like, you're guessing one way or the other. Do
you think they saw Tristan Jarry and just said it was a goal?
Just assumed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It does seem like I just would be curious how they came to the decision to call the goal, because I would like to hope that it wasn't simply them being influenced by the reaction and all that. But I can't find a better explanation.
I mean, they were nowhere near the back of the net,
right?
Like,
and I just feel like if you don't see it and you don't signal goal on the ice, the call should probably be no goal, and then head to replay to make sure that was right.
Yeah, like, it's just like ultimately, like, I get that there's a process and they have to do things a certain way, but like, don't call anything and then watch the video and like.
Well, that's the only
obvious.
thing. I don't think you can not. I think you just said it too. Like, you can't call nothing. You can't go to a review without a call in the first place, right? Like,
yes.
I just feel like if you don't see it with your own eyes and there's no proof, and like you didn't signal goal as the puck went into the net, then your call should probably be no goal.
Yeah, I guess, but ultimately, like, the call doesn't influence what happened. Like, at least it shouldn't have. Like, I don't know, because I get that you're supposed to have conclusive evidence, and technically speaking, you cannot see the puck in the line. So I don't know if you can call that conclusive. But everybody with a brain knows that was a goal. So,
or
like,
with Photoshop. I mean, it's very easy.
That too.
I can do that. You just make a circle that aligns with the bottom half of the puck that you see, and then where is it? And then you make a straight line. Very easy to do, folks.
Yeah, I think the issue here is that we're still relying on like one camera angle for certain plays where that camera angle is rendered useless because something is blocking the camera. God,
yeah, I mean,
at some point,
put cameras.
How do we not have goal line technology?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, they figured it out in baseball. They figured it out in tennis. They figured it out in soccer how to have that technology to like have it super precise. There's also, like, if you want to get acoustic with it, I guess, for lack of a better term, like, do the thing that I brought up before the show that Merrick has brought up, like, add a second goal line 3 inches, like the diameter, the width of the puck, away from behind the original goal line, because then you know if it touches that goal line, it has to have been a goal. There definitely just seems like there's solutions to prevent stuff like this from happening, and I have to imagine, just like like whenever stuff like this happens in sports, they fix it in the off season, hopefully. So, like, just fix it, and this never has to happen again.
Yes, fix the goaltending, and this never has to happen again. I ultimately am not too rattled by officiating or any close calls in this series. I'm rattled by the penalties basically being coupons for goals that the Oilers are committing. I'm rattled by how fucking amazing a shooter Cutter Gauthier is. What a goddamn pleasure.
Yeah,
again,
he's a
same situation that you're in with the Sabres, where I'm not happy watching the Ducks 1 fucking second, but I am watching the same group that I'm like,
wish that was my team.
I fucking believed in these guys. I said they would come out of the Pacific, but fuck. It's very frustrating to watch. Jackson Lacombe is amazing. One nice thing I will say about the Oilers, how much did that shit rock when in the third period, Oilers drew a penalty and Evan Bouchard scored the fucking second the puck was dropped. That fucking ruled. Other than that, it's bad times for the Oilers. Obviously, the goaltending is what it is. The defending has been the biggest issue by 10 miles. But McDavid hurt, Draisaitl hurt, Hyman hurt, Dickinson hurt. Easy to ask the question of, is this just not the year? I'll give one fun stat before we move on to the big question of today's show. The fun stat being, Kasperi Kapanen has 4 goals. That's not, I'm not going to Colorado Avalanche this and say in this situation, whatever, straight up, Kasperi Kapanen has 4 goals.
It's pretty incredible.
That's amazing.
He's a playoff dog.
Playoff dog. Very, very good. Amazing stuff. Yes?
Can I just say, the chat needs to fucking apologize to me, because I just went through and counted. Jesper Wallstedt's given up 7 power play goals.
Power play goals?
You said shorthanded goals.
the Stars are shorthanded. Or the Wild were shorthanded.
Yeah, so he's giving up 7 power play goals.
Yes, he's giving up 7 goals while the Stars were on the power play.
Oh, okay, yeah. I believe that you initially said shorthanded goals, which is why Pete and I both freaked out.
We were like,
definitely
what?
not that.
That
Definitely
cannot
not.
be true. Also, where
Definitely
did you get
not
your
that.
save percentage from?
That was natural stat trick, but
Was that on the power play or on the penalty kill? Because he has a .929 save percentage. He's given up 10 goals in the series, and if 7 of them have come on the power play, he's having a great series.
Yeah, no, I mean 7 of them have come on the power play. He's given up 7 power play goals.
You misspoke. You're allowed to misspeak, and the record has been corrected.
Yes.
You are
just to be clear. Yes,
Yes.
I apologize if I said shorthanded. I apologize for saying that. Chad needs to apologize to me. But he's given up the most goals while his team is shorthanded.
Okay. Who's more cooked? Boston Bruins. I said that weird. Who's more cooked? Boston Bruins or Edmonton Oilers? Sean.
Sean's already moved on.
Yeah, I mean,
He's given
I'm
his
not.
answer.
Yeah, this is a DJ and Pete conversation, so I thought I
Well,
would start
not
with
even.
Sean.
It's not even. It's really not about the Bruins. It's just like I feel like I've said multiple times leading up to the playoffs. Like I am not counting out the Edmonton Oilers until the Edmonton Oilers have lost 4 games in a series. And I get that this is different. Like if Connor McDavid is hurt, then they probably are the most cooked. But like it, I mean, the Bruins just got one of the most embarrassing playoff losses I have ever seen. They're down 3-1 to the team of destiny. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Oilers have been to the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row, and they're just like they have good players, it's a good roster. I think like that on paper, that's a much closer matchup. And also, we've seen them force a Game 7 when they've been down 3. I get that it was 2 years ago, but I just cannot count out the Edmonton Oilers unless they've lost 4 games.
Yeah, the answer is the Bruins because if you had woke me up from a nap and told me the Bruins are down 3-1 in a series to the Sabres versus the Oilers are down 3-1 in a series to the Ducks, I would have been way more surprised at the Oilers being down because Anaheim limped across the finish line to end this season. The Oilers have, I would say, absolutely more talent on their roster than the Bruins do, and I just think that they're more seasoned for this moment than the Bruins are. And that also doesn't even factor into the equation. As Sean pointed out, the Bruins just played their worst fucking game of the season. And to the point where it was inexcusable. And the Bruins are getting great goaltending for the most part. Like, all of these things should like, the Bruins getting great goaltending should have put them in a better position than what they are right now. They're a far inferior talented team than the Sabres are. Winning 3 games in a row is going to be extremely challenging. The Oilers have enough history to them where you can believe in them winning 3 games in a row against a less experienced team, a team that does have a penchant to fuck around a little bit. And I just think that both the teams are probably cooked, but the Bruins I have very little faith in.
Neither team is cooked. Bruins are more cooked. I think Bruins can come back in this series. I think that 2 of their losses have been horrifying. And obviously one of them should have been a win in Game 1. I'm not putting I don't think that either of these teams are coming back. I think this is not the year for the Oilers. I think this is obviously not the year for the Bruins, but this was never the year for the Bruins. I can see paths, though, for each one. How about this? Sabres at home. This is your big moment. You can get a little stage fright, whatever. You lose that one, it's 3-2. Basically, when a team is up 3-1, I'm typically not going to call it. And I think that the Bruins, if they can steal one on the road, they're in business. The Oilers are going back home. They win. They get their act together a little bit, maybe a little momentum. They're in business. But I think the Bruins are more cooked, and I think that ultimately neither of these teams get out of it. I think that they both can come back, but I don't think that either do. That's a lame answer, but yeah, Bruins more cooked for the reasons you said, though, which is like Oilers win 3 games in a row every series.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't think they're going to. They should have. I think they botched Game 2 royally. There's too much stuff in each series for both teams, for the Bruins and the Oilers, where I say, how the fuck did you piss that away? Like, this is ultimately the playoffs. Yeah, we've seen with the Oilers, you can play with your food, but respect the opponent a little bit, man.
Yeah, the only thing is, again, like the Oilers, any faith in the Oilers doing what they've done in previous playoff runs is based off of previous iterations where McDavid's been healthy, Draisaitl's been healthy. They've had a goaltender who, never mind. They
Who
have
can?
never,
They've had a goalie who can steal you a game.
I mean, yes. I'm not going to say that they don't have that right now because we don't fucking know. They just don't have. They don't have the same buttons that they know they can push. Is what I'll say.
Yeah.
In that, I would feel better about them having the evil that you know versus the evil that you don't know, and that's the goaltending right now.
Do you go back to Ingram for game 4?
Yeah.
Or 5, I'm sorry. I think you do too. And it stinks. Like,
you got it.
That
I think you
sucks
got
for
as
Jari.
I think you got as much out of Jari as you could have hoped for. He
had some really nice saves in that game. And I was not prepared to say a single nice word about him because although I like him very much, he was part of a trade I didn't like.
You're a person of 9/11.
Yes.
No. Sean, don't compare that trade. I did not compare it
Apologies for being the first person to compare that trade to 9/11
on this podcast. Yes.
on this podcast. Hand up.
That's you. Yeah, and I saw some chat doing like, is this fallow year? I don't know what it is. It's not as good a team as 2 years ago, certainly, and I don't think it's as good a team as last year, and I think that maybe everyone ends up getting cleared out as a result of it. If they lose in the first round, like how do you keep Bowman?
I don't.
I would keep Jackson. I would give Jackson a second crack at it, but I have no idea still for the life of me how they settled on let's hire Stan fucking Bowman. I will never get it.
It's because he had a sterling reputation.
Yes.
Got to get in there
miss with
before
that
the
guy.
Canucks take Kevin Adams. Can't have that guy just that close, one of your big rivals, rebuilding that team while you can't figure out your general manager situation. That'd be terrible.
I would get Kevin Adams.
Listen, I love Kevin Adams, and I was joking. I don't know that Kevin Adams is the guy you want in this situation. I think maybe if you're more focused on like draft picks and stuff like that, Kevin Adams is your guy. I don't know if Kevin Adams is the guy you want to be the Connor McDavid like caretaker.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins says it should have been our fallow year, but we blew all our assets. When you consider fallow year, do you consider like it being part of the plan?
I think it's resting up, getting everybody all, get some extra massages, just take it easy on the old body and
I get that, but like you shut it down intentionally.
Assets. No. I just thought that there would be a year, I said it about the Panthers, where whether it was injuries, whatever else, where they were like, you know what, let's ease off the gas. We're not going for it this year. And that obviously happened. Oilers weren't in a position where they could have said, we're not going for it this year. You have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You have to go for it every year.
That's the problem, and that's why you got to fire Bowman if you lose in the first round. It's because you have such little leash to fuck up. And if you fuck up, which I think losing in the first round would constitute a fuck up, regardless of who the opponent is, regardless of what it looks like, this is not a team that should lose in the first round. And I think that would be the end for Stan Bowman, or should be.
This makes things interesting because I wanted to have a moment for Anze Kopitar. We got to do that. I'd also like to have a moment for Linus Ullmark because Linus Ullmark and the Senators were eliminated. Personally, I thought they would be. There were a lot of people who thought that maybe they would come out of the East. They had like a road. I didn't see it, but
They had the third best odds to come out of the Eastern Conference.
not for me, but for
that is stunning stuff.
not for me, but for people. So congratulations to the Senators.
How many games did they win?
They didn't win a game.
Damn.
They lost all of them. They lost 4 games. But Linus Ullmark was good in this series. And I don't have anything to add to that other than Linus Ullmark was good in this series. So I at least like that. And I don't know if that means that he can stick around there. I don't know if that means that they still want to get rid of him because, as we discuss, maybe a new general manager or a new leadership in Edmonton. We'd said when the whole shit was really hitting the fan and Keith Tkachuk was complaining about his pinky hurting or something like that, that does it end up being like, do you call the Oilers and say, look, we'll give you Ullmark for Jari. We just need a separation here. I think now, if the Senators are trying to move Ullmark, I don't think it's as simple as just fucking take him. I think he has
recovered some.
I think
some shine.
He's recouped some shine, Peter.
Yeah, I would agree, and like I find it funny that this series is the one that we headed into being like, goaltending could really be the great equalizer here. Both of these teams have big question marks heading into the series. We didn't even know who the Carolina Hurricanes starter was going to be, and both Freddie Anderson and Linus Ullmark were really good in this series.
Yes,
and I feel bad for Linus Ullmark. I guess like maybe this is the universe evening out, where the Senators spent so much time during the regular season just saying, if we only had some goaltending, we'd be a pretty good team. All the underlying metrics say we should be a good team, but the goaltending isn't there.
Right.
They get to the playoffs, no goaltending, nothing else.
Yeah. I'm Norman.
Yeah, okay.
Brother.
Mark Normand on podcasts just lets the other person
Right.
talk and then just goes, yeah.
I've listened to. I like Mark Normand. I think he's very funny.
I do too. I've really come around on him.
When he's in a conversation with another person,
especially another awkward person.
It seems like he's always just trying to get out of the conversation.
Yeah.
yeah. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, totally.
By the way, shout out to Logan Stankoven, who is gonna win Conn Smythe.
We have a good little Conn Smythe watch going on. Bo Byram, Logan Stankoven, and Kasperi Kapanen.
Wasn't Taylor Hall in there at one point?
Taylor Hall's in there?
Absolutely in there too. Taylor Hall,
or is that like a serious one?
I mean Taylor Hall has 7 points in 4 games.
GOAT.
I mean, a lot of that is thanks to Logan Stankoven, who just keeps putting the puck in the back of the net.
Chat is mentioning Kyle in Taiwan. Hey, Senators, how the fuck did that work out, dipshits? But being like, don't worry, we sent him away. Cool.
Taiwan?
It was
try winning one game.
Well, you said you were going to tie one on the way the Bruins were playing, right? You said you were going to get drunk. You said you were going to tie one on.
I guess.
Yeah, you told me you were going to get drunk.
Okay.
You said, fuck this, I'm going to go get drunk. Right. Yeah. Comedy. I'm Kevin Hart. That is fun. He ends his sets with, thank you, I'm Kevin Hart. That's pretty good.
I like that.
Hi.
Okay, yeah. You said you were going to tie one on if the Bruins keep fucking around.
I've never heard that phrase before.
Tie one on?
Yeah.
I've looked up what it means. I think it means like makes it so it's hard to walk.
My joke.
Which
did
Taiwan try winning one game?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Tie
Thanks,
one
guys.
on is an abbreviated version of the British expression tie a bun on. Indeed, for 100 years or so, a bun was slang for getting drunk. The problem is nobody knows how buns got into the equation in the first place.
It was some British bullshit.
I'm going to get hammered and be like, I'm fucking buns right now.
I'm doing buns out for Harambe. Aren't you British? Don't you know?
The Bruins are buns. You think it means they're ass, but it means they're drunk.
This game is drunk. Is this Slate drunk, Sean? Tell me.
Not really. It's kind of, I think it's pretty. I mean, that's whatever. It's so
two games.
Nice one, Sean. Flyers at Pittsburgh Penguins. Game 5. Flyers looking to close it out for a second straight game. I do know Young Gritty was in the building for Game 4.
Fucking loser.
Nice one there. You can catch it on ESPN, and then afterwards at 9:30, but more like 9:52, you could catch the Golden Knights trying to even their series with the Mammoth in Utah. I really thought a Flyers sweep would have been fun, but I'll take more of this series. Keep that one going. I'll go 6 with that one.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think I don't think I agree. The longer the series goes on, the more I get afraid for the Philadelphia Flyers. It really cannot have
right.
collapse.
You're right.
Like we could be starting round 2 in like 2 days. if they wrap this shit up.
That part too. Yeah, I just don't want it for the Flyers though. Like it'd be really sad to watch them go up 3-0 and then shit the bed in historic fashion to their state rival. Like I don't really need the Penguins in these playoffs.
Two things: if the Penguins win tonight, they get to plug Stu back in, and then you're kind of in trouble, Flyers. The other thing is it Young Gritty's birthday?
I think it is. Yeah,
I'm seeing chat. I'm seeing birthday discourse with
birthday
Young Gritty.
Twins.
I
Sean
can't
and
trust
Young Gritty.
birthday chat.
Young Gritty, we're working on your gift. Okay? Got me.
What did we think of Brian Rust pulling Porter Martone's hair?
I think that
Does he get to
love
do that?
is love, but I do
Don't take
not
shame.
think Porter Martone was signing up for that. I don't think he
But
said,
he's only 19. He doesn't have a say.
that's dangerous.
I'm gonna need you to explain that one.
I'm worried what his explanation could be.
Yeah, that's true.
I was more talking in the NHL realm. I do apologize. It sounded very bad coming out of my mouth. Hand up.
Definitely not what you meant.
Yeah, I was saying Brian Rust has been around the block a little bit, and he's a bit of a shit
okay, I
stirrer. So
He's not experienced enough.
yeah. So Porter Martone, welcome to the show, pal.
Yes.
This is the way that the Penguins have to re-enter the series. They got to beat the shit out of teenagers.
He could Ricky Williams it. Show up tonight.
Get really high.
Ah, yes.
Give it the old Uri.
Yeah. There you
Pull
go.
this, dork.
Oh,
Brian.
yeah.
Rusty. All right, let's take a look at one of these games with Sports Interaction, Sportsbook, and Casino. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook, Sports Interaction. Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Which of these two games you want to look at, Peter?
Neither.
Neither? You don't want to look at them or even watch them?
Apparently,
let's go Utah.
Okay. Utah is the line is 6, which shout out last night we saw a historic 7.5 set, 5.5 in the other game. Let's see. I got to do the odds.
apparently, John
Converter.
Tortorella in his presser today said about 5 or 6 times that we're ready to play, and did not say a whole lot else. So I don't really know what to do with that. Doesn't very much suggest to me that they're ready to play, though. If I'm
I
being
mean,
honest.
you know who wasn't ready to play?
They
Fucking
were talking-
Carter
in the
Hart.
Carter Hart,
Holy
yeah. I was about to
shit.
say.
That's
That guy
smoked.
Carter Hart
might suck.
got smoked. I think the series is over. I think the Utah Mammoth are going to win the series.
Tusks the fuck up. I'm
Interesting.
so in.
Okay,
Mammoth, Sabres, Stanley Cup feeds families.
The J.J. Peterka Bowl, famously.
Yes.
Utah and Kessering would probably be playing by then because someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not rooting for injury, but I would love to see Michael Kessering revenge series in the Stanley Cup. Oh, boy. That'd rock.
Utah is minus 102 money line. You doing that? You think they win again at home?
Yes.
Okay. Lock it in. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. From puck drop to overtime, bet with live odds on every play with easy deposits and payouts. Go to sportsinteraction.com/whatchaos to open an account. Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. I believe, before we get to Super Chats, I think that we still owe one more Patreon episode.
We do, yeah.
I think we do. Okay, I am requesting that be about Maroon 5 because we've been listening to a lot of Maroon 5 lately, and I've got some Maroon 5 thoughts I want to get out.
Okay.
So
I'm down with that.
Subscribe to the Patreon. You also get a recent episode that we did with the boys from Dishin. It was just so cool. We had such a great time in Buffalo. To the Super Chats we go with Gabby Nicole saying, simultaneously don't want to hear any Oilers chat and need to know your thoughts. They're killing my soul. Why? Agree. Renee says, Kings were not shut out the entire season. We are so back. The future is bright. Life is great and worth living. I hear you,
that
pal.
true?
Stephanie says, everyone tell Young Gritty happy birthday if you haven't already. Happy birthday,
Happy
Young
birthday.
Gritty. AKA, when we see him in person, we're just calling him YG.
Yeah.
We're like never calling him anything but Young Gritty or YG.
He's YG the way he's smoking, drinking, fucking.
That's right. That's what everyone knows about him.
Stephanie Mills, you just read that one. Paradisical Dreams for the Repair Pete's Broken Heart Fund. Thank you very much.
Better have some
Appreciate it.
good insurance.
I know. Thanks for the amazing watch party on Thursday, says JS Crizzy. You guys were awesome to meet. Sabres in 5. Let's fucking go.
I bet that's Jordan. Starts with a
yes.
J?
Yes. Jordan, it was great hanging out with you, if that is in fact you. Maui Bum 5, money for the family counseling session y'all are going to need after this series. Thank you very much. A lot of therapy chat in chat today. Eric Ripperson says, Pete, I want to live with you after the divorce. Can we have chicken nuggets for dinner? Only if they are dinosaur shaped. Mario Lopez says, now that you have Rachel Reed's contact, you can persuade her to trash your teams in future books. Maybe get some HR effect in there. That's a pretty good idea.
Will be doing.
The love of your life says Bolts are
Netanyahu's team.
What's that about?
You don't want
He's a Habs fan.
Yeah, but I don't know who Netanyahu is.
Oh boy.
I'm assuming it's
explain
a very
to Pete whether
bad
or not he
person.
wants that.
No, I know. I think context clues suggest I know Netanyahu is very bad.
And a Canadiens fan telling you that the Bolts are Netanyahu's team. Yes, you've nailed it.
Cotty says, happy belated Lesbian Visibility Day.
Oh, hell yes.
What's so funny about that?
Because they did hashtag WCLU, the What Chaos Lesbian Union.
Okay, all right. I was going to say, what's so funny about that, DJ?
What's so funny about lesbians?
What's so funny about lesbians being visible? DKai says, I walked past Pete at TD Garden yesterday, and whilst the game was terrible, I was amused when I realized Pete was taller than I assumed.
Everything coming up, Pete.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I guess so. Gonzi says, gotta give credit where it's due. Very nice. Luxury trash. It get you, DJ. John Tavares is my team's 9/11. John Tavares is my team's 9/11. The best part about that is you could theoretically be a fan of two teams.
There's 2 teams.
Yes.
And I think that you're saying that John Tavares is like a sports car.
Yeah,
Isn't that
Porsche
a-
911.
Isn't that a Porsche 911?
I don't think that anybody has ever called John Tavares a Porsche, whether it's his speed or how exciting he is. That brother is boring. Young Gritty says 12-12-25. Always remember, never forget. What's that about?
I don't want it. That's the date of the Tristan Jarry trade.
Right. Claire Bear for the What Chaos Grief Therapy and Marriage Counseling Fund. Thank you, Claire. Mimi K says Bowman has to go. You cannot have McDavid very publicly take a massive discount because you have fucked up your roster in cap management and then continue to get worse while losing cap space and assets. It's a pretty good way to sum that up.
Put it like that.
Nelly Lundstrom, I need y'all to stop saying the Oilers, who are 55, are cooked. It's weird. They could be gay or bi, etc. Sure. Okay, we have a
I
follow-up.
want more explanation there.
Yeah.
I love when someone says, don't say this. They could be gay or bi.
Nelly Lundstrom has a follow-up here. My brother
Nope,
once
it's not a
watched...
follow. It's not related at all.
Okay. Disjointed follow-up. My brother once watched Linus Ullmark struggle to get out of a parking spot for 20 minutes, and I think about that as often as 9/11.
See,
I mean, I probably would too.
Damn, that's tough. If somebody watched me struggle to get out of a parking spot for 20 minutes, I would hope they would never repeat that shit again. That's all I'll say.
Third Nelly Lundstrom.
Oh, and a
super
third
chat has
Nelly
hit the chat.
Lundstrom super chat has hit the timeline. If you want to honor Young Gritty's birthday for real, I think you should bring up his last tweet with a video.
I don't know about it.
Okay. We'll
see.
effort that. Sean, can we scroll down? Claire says PWHL.
Oh,
Right
man.
on.
Ottawa Charge put belt to ass to clinch that last playoff spot over the weekend. I did watch that.
Fun Ottawa Charge update is that they will be playing the remainder of their games this season at the Tire Center, the Canadian Tire Center.
Oh, why is that?
Why?
There's not other stuff going on there?
No, they are. That schedule has been freed up, brother. No games being hosted there on the NHL slate. They probably could have waited like more than 5 minutes to announce that. The body was extremely warm still when they announced, I guess we're free to play at this building. Jose on the air. Pete, did you at least get Disco Darling on vinyl? No, I did not. Thank you for bringing that up. Very much appreciated. Struck out at 2 or 3 different vinyl stores in Buffalo. Everything coming up, Pete. Emily Black says, never thought my day would be made by a hockey podcast with 3 dudes. What chaos. I am so fond of you. Thank you, Emily. Leo Latte, gay or bi, etc. is a reference to Sharks discourse. That doesn't really clear it up for me.
Yeah, it only confuses me more, to be honest.
Grace says, this was a fun one. Thank you, guys. Happy Monday. Disagree?
Glad it was a fun one.
Happy Monday.
Disagree? Glad you had a good time.
Turns out it was fun for some people. Sean, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm in a weird headspace regarding my team. I know that Pete's not a happy camper, but look, I love watching hockey, love talking about it with you friends, and I actually slept this weekend, which was nice, so I'm feeling I got a little life in me.
I'm very grateful that the Bruins and Sabres play tomorrow and do not have 2 days off, because letting this one marinate for 48 hours would truly
That could be tough.
be horrible.
I did not really consider the idea that like 2 days from now, I could be the only one with a playoff team left. Like I just kind of, I knew that obviously like one of Peter or I were going to be out, but I kind of assumed it would, the Oilers would be around a little bit longer. And now it might just be the Buffalo Sabres representing what chaos in the NHL playoffs, which we definitely all saw coming.
I'm just truly stunned by the fact that there is the Bruins are on the precipice of being eliminated, and I have a horrid taste in my mouth. Like, that is shocking to me, based off of where I kind of entered this series mentally,
because they didn't make you believe. It's not like they made you believe or anything and then ripped it away from you. It was that. What is it?
It's that they just fucking played the worst game of their season in what was essentially a must-win game on home ice. Like, after already delivering a dud in Game 3, that is where I stand. It's just like, you ripped away the one good thing you had about you this season, which was that you guys play with piss and vinegar. You always battle. You always hold a certain amount of respect attached to your name, attached to the crest. None of that. None of it. So,
all right. Well,
where I'm at.
We've got big things this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Remember, we do Friday episodes now. So Monday through Friday, we are there. And again, check the Patreon because we will have a new episode there as well.
I might actually dip into some 2 to 6 sports radio.
Oh,
today,
yes, do it.
Because holy shit, did Boston sports have a weekend? I mean,
call in.
Huh? I don't want to call in. I just want to observe. It's just, I don't know what that show is going to look like based off of the weekend that we had. I want to see how Felger blames this on Swayman, how he says that Swayman yelling at the bench is bad behavior. But, I mean, the football coach left the draft to go to fuck therapy. The Red Sox won by 16 runs and fired the entire staff. The Bruins
and told
shit all over themselves.
Jason Varitek to go fuck himself, basically.
Yes. So, like, just an incredible all-time weekend for Boston sports.
Yeah.
No good, folks.
You got Joe Mazzulla.
Yep.
He's weird. He's only weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, that, he's like, is psychopath endearing.
Yeah.
So
it's just your best is going to get in Boston. At least on the men's side.
If you want more of me today for any reason, I will be on with Tyler and Liam today on Oilers Nation every day. That'll be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern in the United States and Canada. It's always fun with those boys. I don't know how much fun we'll have, but I might tie one on, get drunk for it, something like that. All right, love you. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.